Yeah, we straight chillin', serial killing, pre-cool villains on the mic, got you reeling. 5-star rated from the floor to the ceiling. If you catch a 1-star, no time for feelings. Got a demon DJ on the ones and twos, by the name Beelzebub, so don't get confused. So grab a seat by the fire, roast them all over two, and prepare to hear the legend of the straight chillin' crew.
What up, nerds, and welcome to another reggae-fueled episode of Straight Chilling, the weekly horror movie review show where you chill and we kill, slice, dice, and chop up yet another horror movie. My name is Bob. I'll be your host for the evening. This is episode 494, recorded Monday, September 16th, 2024. Tonight, we're talking about the winner of the September poll, which was Popcorn from 1991. Before we get into it, let me introduce everyone else on the show. First up, calling in from Washington, D.C., we got your boy Randeezy. What's up, man?
The Tingler is loose in the theater.
How we doing, buddy? It's good to hear from you. You ready to talk some schlock? Ready to talk some 90s and 50s schlock?
Oh, yeah. Dude, out of context, like, if you have no idea what the Tingler is, that bump sounds so nasty.
Dude,
The Tingler.
it hits how it hits, you know? It's for
does.
everyone.
It does. Love hearing the VP on the show. Vincent Price. Next up, calling in from Seoul, South Korea, we got your boy Soju. What's up, man?
Oh, what up? It's your boy Cinema Stain. Sweet and sticky, boys.
Or covered in vomit, depending
Oh.
on what
Wow.
theater you're at, you know?
Maybe a little
Sweet.
caramel pea corn.
Sure,
All right.
sure. Last but not least, making her triumphant return to the Straight Chilling podcast. Everybody, welcome back our good friend Caitlin. What's up, Caitlin?
Hello. I was debating, I was like, is that sweet and sticky? Do I say my nickname in college? Do I say how I have juice saved in my phone?
Yes.
Do I-
Yes.
Man leaves you open for
Yes.
options.
Yes. My boy, Sweet and Sticky Stains.
Well, I mean, you got your soda pops, you got your candies, you got your caramel. It's most of the stains are sticky, boys.
Look, I'm just saying, like,
Most.
the-
The
if I
good
see a
ones
stain,
are.
I'm not flavor checking the stain personally.
Doubt
For
it.
sweetness.
What a
All right.
square, right? You just put your tongue on it. Just, God, really playing it safe over here.
When Bob said out of context, that bump sounds nasty. I hate to break it to you, but
There's
most
no
of them do.
context.
That's fair. That's fair. Caitlin, for
About the
those who,
drink power, man.
that one makes perfect sense. For those folks listening to the show that aren't already familiar with you and your podcast, why don't you let them know what you're all about?
Yeah, I have Plug It Up, which is a horror movie podcast about the monstrous feminine, tastefully named after the scene in Carrie where they throw tampons at her. And I cover movies that have spooky ladies in them or ladies experiencing spooky things. And I recently had all three of you on. I was like, check. Got all the boys.
Gotta
Yeah.
Good
catch 'em
place
all.
to
True.
be.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Now,
one was the
one
best?
hand-
Oh, God.
now time to rank them. That's how we do things around here.
Of course. Right now, on the spot, and you got to be honest. Okay.
I'm pretty sure when I
I'll know
called
I'm
in
lying.
for your 400, maybe it was, that was like the bit I led with. I was like, and now I'm gonna rank you in
Yeah.
order of my
We're still
favorite."
waiting.
Yeah. 500, baby. It's coming.
All right.
Oh,
here we
yeah.
go. That's what's up.
Time to burn some bridges.
You need to hear this.
Go check out Plug It Up everywhere you get your podcasts. Let's tackle a little bit of housekeeping on our end real quick here. So we do have our October poll currently posted on our Patreon website. If you guys support us at the $5 level or above, you get the chance to vote on 3 movies we're going to talk about in October. So what we've done the past couple years for our October poll, we each 3 of us pick a triple feature, and they're all themed, and you guys are voting on the theme alone, and then you'll find out what movies we're watching after the poll closes. So the three themes you're voting on are Lost and Found, Thrill Me, and Ghastly Ghouls.
Whoa, this is the big one for the year. Triple Feature Halloween. Bob, how those numbers looking?
Triple Feature Halloween.
Triple
So-
Feature.
Something pretty interesting has occurred here.
Duh.
We got a dead
Interesting,
tie.
you say? Oh,
Dead tie.
We got
that
all
is,
three.
quite
Dead
interesting.
tie.
Really? Damn.
Yeah.
All in
Really?
a
Is that
row.
true?
Yeah,
All
that's
three.
a
Last I
big
checked,
swing.
that was not the case, and that was like yesterday.
Yeah, that is the case. I checked just
Randy's
before we
constantly
started recording.
refreshing. Come
Oh
on,
my
come
God, it's-
on.
That's the only election I'm paying attention to. So
The only one that matters.
Every 10 minutes for 30 days. Come on.
God damn it, Nate Silver, tell me who's gonna win this thing.
It hasn't
Why?
changed for 6 hours. What the fuck?
Let's just go ahead and close it. Let's just close it. So yeah, I mean, anybody's game at this point. We're
Damn.
halfway through the month. Make sure you get your votes in before the end of September. We'll see what 3 movies we're talking about this October.
Damn, 3-way
And
tie.
now's a really good time to join Patreon if you guys haven't already. We've got this incredible tie in the poll happening. This unprecedented.
You need
tie
to
in the
break
poll.
it. You are responsible. You
One vote
personal
matters with
listener.
us. And you can
Uh,
count on the fact that this election, your vote matters.
It does count. We're
You
also
Randy with the
dropping-
hashtag rock the vote.
You
Yeah.
Hot
have
the vote.
huge sway.
We're also dropping mini casts out the ass. Next up,
We
Friday
are
Sep-
dropping all of those casts right out of our
out,
asses.
out of our asses.
It's
Next up,
accurate.
we got Friday,
man.
September 27th. We're dropping a mini cast on Cuckoo and Juice. I think this was yours, right?
Whoa, yes, sir. That was me talking about Cuckoo, one of the weirdest horror films of 2020 year we're in for.
Whatever it is,
Wow.
doesn't even
Dementia's
matter.
setting in quick.
2000.
When the,
The new My Chemical Romance album dropped.
God
Damn.
damn.
The fuck? Damn.
So check that out, Friday, September 27th. Also, I'll go ahead and let you guys in on a little secret. We're talking Simpsons Treehouse of Horrors every single Friday, yet again throughout the month of October. So sign up on Patreon now.
Yeah.
Classic
Who is
straight
it?
choice.
Frankenstein? The Booger Man?
We're eventually going to cover them
Boogerman.
all. We're getting there.
We're halfway there.
Damn.
We are
halfway
halfway there. And
Which
this
is
is the
crazy.
5-year anniversary of us starting this trend, by the
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
We
Oh
got
my
our boy
God.
Warren sitting in with us once again from the Simpsons is Greater Than podcast for all those mini casts as well. And the man knows what he's talking about. Just check it
Mhm.
out.
Half the
does.
existence of this podcast, we've been talking Simpsons.
Treehouse. That is insane.
That is kind of
fucking crazy.
insane.
My brain hurts.
Um,
Keep going.
Yeah. Also,
Keep
speaking
going.
of
Yeah, it hurts.
Patreon,
Oh yeah, keep
Keep
going.
speaking of Patreon
It
shit,
hurts. I loved it.
we're hosting our 4th annual Chilloween party on Friday, October 18th at 9 Eastern. This is going to be a hangout available via Zoom for anybody that supports us on Patreon at any level. And we're going to be doing horror trivia. We're also going to have a costume contest. And the winners of both of those are going to be receiving a dope prize package in the mail from us. And we're also going to be screening a surprise horror film with commentary and potential drinking game. If you would like to imbibe, you can do so.
And weenie roasts and square dances.
Yeah, that too. You can roast some weenies
We're gonna have
And
it all.
square dance in the background.
and
if you want.
square dance. That'll be normal. Totally.
That is the normal thing that we will be doing.
Yeah. Come hang out with us Friday, October 18th. Mark your calendars, folks.
Whoa.
And also, this is the last thing I have. We have a lot of shit to talk about. We're going to be recording episode 500 here in just a couple weeks. And if you guys would like to send an email or voicemail to be featured on that episode, make sure you get those into us before September 28th. And
Wow.
that's it. Finally, that's all I
I mean,
got.
I don't want to drop a dime on anybody, but I heard Justin saying that people are too scared to call in. So I don't know.
I
Sounds
heard
like
that
y'all are
Sounds
too.
call
like
in.
me, actually.
Yeah. People are
Cowards.
too
They're all
afraid. These
cowards.
cowards.
They're beneath
heard
me,
you,
these
man.
cowards.
Yeah.
Call
If
it.
they weren't
won't
cowards,
call
they would
in.
call in, he said loudly.
He did
Yes,
say it.
that's what I said.
So make sure you call in 904-638-3231 and tell Justin to fuck right off.
Yeah. Let that be
Yeah.
your motivation.
Yeah.
It always is.
Let the hate fuel you.
Just try to get
That's
I'm
all
in
I got.
marketing. I
attention
know how to
from
make this happen.
Justin.
You guys have anything you need to plug?
Oh no, not a thing.
No, I think my house is clean.
All right.
All right.
This house is clean.
Let's get into the main event. We're talking about popcorn, and we're kicking it off with the back of the box.
What's on the back of the box?
Bob, do you have this box?
I do. I'm realizing now I forgot to hold it up earlier, but yeah, there you go.
Bob, show off that sweet blue, that
Popcorn.
shine. Whoa.
You're the
Ooh.
only.
That blue
you got to
gold.
watch an actual release of this.
Yeah.
Blue gold.
This bad boy ain't streaming anywhere but YouTube.
Yeah, it is not easily
not good.
available. And we were mentioning pre-show that there's like a new Bollywood film or a recent Bollywood film also named Popcorn. There's some
Oh.
other popcorn options out there. Also, the sweet snack that's available on all stores that they want you to buy. So,
Covered in caramel, cheese,
yeah, you know,
butter.
sweet, sticky, you know the deal.
Huge stains.
Oh.
Huge.
We know the
The
deal.
stickiest stains.
Everyone.
Yeah, we're
says
talking
so.
Popcorn 1991. If you guys do want to stream this, yeah, it's in full on YouTube. You can do that. It's also on Blu-ray, so you can pick it up
Also,
physically if you'd like to.
who's got a
Uh,
Blu-ray player these days? I mean, come on.
Only losers do. I know that
Little
much.
idiots! Idiots!
This is from 1991, rated R, with a runtime of 1 hour and 31 minutes. This was directed by Mark Harrier and Alan Ormsby. It was written by Mitchell Smith and Alan Ormsby, starring Joe Sholin, Tom Villard, Dee Wallace, some other lovely folks. Plot synopsis brought to you by IMDb is as follows. A master of disguise, deranged killer begins killing off the college students who are organizing a horror movie marathon in an abandoned theater.
All right.
Folks, have we seen this movie before, and would we recommend people check it out? Caitlin, why don't you kick us off?
You know, I had not seen this before, and I was kind of like, this has got to be something I've seen. When I was talking to Randy about it, he was like, yeah, it's like the 1991 schlocky one. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like I've probably seen it before. And then I went to go play it, and I was like, I have no idea what this is. But I ended up liking it a lot more than I thought I would. And if you are interested in movie history and the history of interactive cinema in particular, I think that I would recommend this one.
Sweet. Randy, how about you?
Yeah, I had seen this once before, very much just like a random throw-on sort of situation back when it was streaming in a legitimate fashion. Yeah, I would generally recommend this as well for the reasons that Caitlin pointed out, but also like this is one of those movies that like I benefited from having like no expectation whatsoever. So I don't want to overhype it or oversell it either. This is a movie that I think will surprise you and or at least it surprised me its level of quality considering what appears it looks worse than it is by the cover. Don't judge this one by its cover is what I would say.
Right on. Juice, what about you?
I had never seen this before, and this film is not my particular flavor. But what I would say as far as recommendations is even though this came out in 91, it's definitely like an 80s B horror movie type of feeling. But for that style, I would say it does a lot of things that actually kind of like earn my respect. So if you're into that particular flavor of horror, I think that this is probably a good one for you to watch. Otherwise, I don't think this is going to be the one that's going to move the needle on, you liking that type of horror. But if you do, this is definitely worth checking out in that realm. So yeah, I can't remember. Bob, did you give her a recommendation or not?
I did not.
Okay, Bob.
We don't listen to you, Bob.
Have you seen this
Clearly.
movie before?
Yeah, I'd seen this once before, and it had been a little while. I think Joe Bob showed it a few years ago, too, a couple years ago. I forget when. But yeah, I dig this one. I recommend it for sure. It's super fun and schlocky, much like you guys have already said. And if you're into that kind of thing, I think you'll have a pretty good time here. It's also got kind of a slashery element working for it too. So it's an interesting, wacky blend of shit. Yeah, recommend for me. It sounds like a general loose, medium to loose.
Medium
recommend.
to loose, Bob's Besh.
We're
You
gonna
know.
tighten up that recommend a little bit.
A relaxed
Tighten it.
fit.
Bob likes her like
recommendation.
fit.
Husky
Yeah.
size.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, precisely. Put on your Jinkos and watch this fucking movie if you want to do that.
Hell yeah, bro. Woo woo.
Sure. So we are going to be spoiling popcorn, and here comes your warning.
Spoiler warning.
I want to see how many times I can make Rob this episode go like, sure. Okay. I've gotten 2 so far.
2 already? Okay.
All right. Sure.
Huh.
I'll keep a tally.
Bob,
All
do
right,
you have
thank
that
you.
plot synopsis?
Oh no, I'm gonna let Caitlin do it.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna get an okay from me.
Whoa, Caitlin's O face over there. I see. Whoa.
Okay, we have 2 for Bob, 1 for Caitlin. Let's see.
A running tally.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got the synopsis typed up for popcorn. Let's go ahead and get through it here. So we meet our main character here, film student and aspiring screenwriter Maggie. She's got this recurring dream of a young girl named Sarah being killed by a man with a huge ass knife. Her burgeoning film
not
studies
that big.
class. It's
I've seen bigger.
oh, this is a knife,
Whoa.
Justin over here.
So plump, so right.
Yeah. Her burgeoning film studies class decides to have an all-night horror-a-thon to raise some funds at the local abandoned Dreamland Theater. They plan to show 3 films, each with a William Castle-like gimmick attached. Mosquito, filmed in 3D, The Attack of the Amazing Electrified Man, filmed in Shockoscope, and Stench, filmed in Odorama. They also enlist the help of a horror memorabilia shop owner who loans them lots of cool props to decorate the theater with. Among his collection, they find and watch a short film called Possession that resembles Maggie's dream. Legend has it the director Lanyard Gates was a cult leader as well as a filmmaker, and when he screened his final film Possessor, he acted out the last scene on stage, which consisted of killing his family and setting the theater on fire. Maggie's mother, Suzanne, receives a creepy phone call, and the voice tells her to meet him at the theater and to bring a gun. She goes to the theater and is grabbed by a mysterious figure. The night of the horror-a-thon, Maggie works the box office and her boyfriend Mark shows up with another girl named Joy. She also sells a ticket to a mysterious figure that calls her Sarah. She tells Toby about her encounters in the projection booth, while their teacher, Davis, prepares the giant mosquito gimmick. He flies it over the crowd, but the mysterious figure uses a remote to fly it back towards Davis, impaling and killing him. The spooky man then makes a mask of Davis's face. Maggie's classmate Tina approaches the killer wearing Davis's face backstage and tries to kiss him. The mask comes off and the stranger strangles her with a rope. Mark and Maggie find them, but the killer puppeteers Tina's corpse, fooling them. As the second film is screening, a wheelchair-bound student named Bud is controlling the seat shocker gimmick. The killer straps Bud to the controls and creates a makeshift electric chair, killing him. The killer confronts Maggie, and she then realizes she is Sarah Gates, Lanyard Gates' daughter, and Suzanne is really her aunt, who saved her from being killed by her father long ago. She explains the situation to Toby, and they go into the basement to reset the breakers. When the lights come on, she realizes she's in the killer's lair, and Toby reveals that he, not Lanyard Gates, is the killer. He's invented a very lifelike way of making masks and has been impersonating several people. He reveals his mother was a member of Gates's cult and was present at the original Possessor screening. His mother was killed and he was badly burned when her aunt Suzanne rescued her and set the theater on fire, and these masks help him hide his badly burned face. He plans to scream Possessor and perform the ending correctly this time, killing Sarah. He commences his plan, and as the final scene of Possessor is taking place on stage, Sarah's locked in a metal dress, and the audience thinks it's another gimmick despite her pleas. Mark slides down the mosquito track using his belt. The track breaks, causing the mosquito to swing wildly, impaling Toby and killing him. Mark then releases Maggie and Suzanne, and the crowd showers them with applause. Roll them credits.
Hell yeah, buddy.
A lot of
Um,
shit
I
going
did-
on here. Thank you.
There is. I don't I don't know about you guys, but I really didn't want to like oversell this in the spoiler free section, but I really had so much fun with this movie both times I've watched it now. It's so much like a proto meta slasher, honestly, that I really
Yeah.
really dig that about it. And all the like William Castle type shit. I mean, it's just got all these great trappings to it, even with all of its like silliness at the same time. And some of its silliness is the best. The acting in this is like so ridiculous. It's the best. It's the best.
The best acting
It's
I've
the
seen.
best.
What I will
Yes.
say though
Anthony
is
Hopkins could never.
on my very limited time these days where like watching things is like I don't know. What I will say is like things that are good or bad really shine through. So what I was saying is like there's a lot of things I do respect about this film, but ultimately it's still bad because it's like still like quite I did not have like a blast watching this. It was a bit of a slog to get through. It's an 80s B horror movie. I mean, and it's specifically like for film nerds. I mean, all of the
Oh,
little
yeah.
aspects that are so fun about it are aspects of a film going experience from the past that's quaint and it's silly and those kind of ways are just like fun to imagine. But like this, but the music is terrible in this movie.
I
Fucking-
liked it.
Really?
Dude,
I
the
mean,
reggae stuff
Dude, the reggae stuff made me
terrible.
laugh. It's terrible.
excellent.
Okay.
Saturday night at the movies. Who
It's
cares
really
what
like
picture you
chintzy.
see? So catchy.
So I have a
It's
I have a buddy who's a horror dork that I work with, and I mentioned that I was watching this to review it, and he was like, "Well, keep in mind that the whole thing was filmed in Jamaica." And I was like,
Mm.
I haven't seen this more recent enough to know what that means, but okay. And I had forgotten all the reggae shit, and as soon as that started playing, I was like, "Fuck yeah, this was filmed in Jamaica." Except we found like they could have you would think that being in the source of all reggae rock steady music, they would I don't know, do something other than the songs they chose. They're very, very cheesy.
No, they said we're going montage classic right now.
Yeah. I love how in the middle of the triple screening that they have going on, they just like the lights go out and they're like, "Ah, fuck it, we just have a reggae band on hand. Let's bring them out and have a concert."
Except
Like,
the whole aspect is the power is out, but they still have a full-fledged concert.
don't worry about all
They had a
that.
full-fledged
It's
concert. The
acoustic
people that
reggae.
That's
brought
the
them
whole
up in
point
order
of
to buy
bringing the
time
band
to
on-
fix the
yeah.
lights.
Yeah, we gotta fix
They're
the
dancing on
light.
stage with them with flashlights.
Hey, just because
They are
it's
not fixing
acoustic
shit.
reggae, don't come down on it, man.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
In
it's
case
fun
of
though. Like it's
emergency.
just so it's like preposterous feeling.
It is. It's a lot of fun. I got a good a kick out of watching this. I'd forgotten of the vast majority of it, honestly, and I love the William Castle kind of gimmicks that they play with here, and the like movie memorabilia with all this like cool shit that they decorate the theater with. It's like a horror nerd's wet dream, basically. It's like being able to like
Yeah.
go to something like this would be so much fun. I guess, and unless you get murdered or whatever, but it
It
sounds
reminded me
like a good
very
time.
much of Scream, the opening to Scream 2, or like all these movies
Mhm.
where like
Yeah.
the horror feature is like a complete raucous, insane, like rock show level of event where people are just bouncing off the fucking walls and hurling shit. I would love to go to a screening like that. The most intense shit I've seen is like, I don't know, like fucking Everything's Terrible, or like a screening of The Room or Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Rocky
But those
Horror,
things,
yeah.
like those last couple things, they're like preordained jokes and stuff, and so like it's on a script, it's running on a track. I would love to see just like people going fucking nuts. And the thing is, it's like I either want that or I want everybody to shut the fuck up and watch the goddamn movie. It's no middle ground at all.
Yeah.
Full-fledged party or silence.
We're either committing to
Yeah,
the bit or we're
exactly.
being quiet.
Yeah.
Respect.
But all
Those are the options.
300 people have to agree.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's funny. I
Yeah.
started out kind of like Juice and then ended up where Randy is. When I started this, I was like, oh man. I started this at like 9:30 on a school night,
Yeah.
so to speak. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, this girl and her like very tropey, I keep having these dreams, mom. And I was like, oh God, I can't do it. But then we get to the memorabilia guy, and then we get to the montage, and I was like, okay, I can buy into this. This is silly, and the shticks, and when the movies that they're playing, that they're projecting, are reflecting kind of what's going on behind the scenes, and you get this sort of like the parallels, and it's got this proto Scream vibe. I was like, oh yeah, this is so much fun. I love movies. I love going to the movies. I love watching movies. This is great. I love movies. It's like the perfect Joe Bob pick. I don't think I saw this one with Joe Bob, but I feel like this was the kind of movie where I'm like, man, I probably wouldn't enjoy watching this alone, but preparing for a podcast for it or watching it with a Joe Bob type of crowd would be the exact right vibe, with other people that like movies, other people that like horror tropes, and other people that can pick up on just like the silly shit, the William Castle of it all, and enjoy the meta commentary, and just, I don't know, the mask work, him embodying other like literally embodying other characters and like puppeteering their bodies. I was like, oh, I love horror movies. This is fun.
It's just
Yeah,
like yeah, it's the perfect level of silly. I'm sorry, Justin. I think I cut
Oh
you
no
off.
no no! I was just gonna agree about the montage kicking off. I mean the gimmicky, the smell stuff, and pumping the fog in and stuff like that. I was actually gonna clarify. I wasn't sure, and I was trying to look it up before, and I couldn't quite find an answer. Are these movies real? The 3 movies that are
No.
in here, they're not. Okay, I
No.
assumed that they
No.
weren't. But so that's very clever. So like I was saying, this movie, it's still, because honest, the gimmick of it is the best part, and it's a smart gimmick and it works well. But so the montage really pulled me in, and I was like, oh, this is fun. This is, a cool tribute, and the way that they're working in these films is really cool. But the horror of it all is pretty garbage still, honestly. I think it's still pretty bad, and the just kind of like so much time is just walking around and looking for this killer and saying the same kind of things over and over and over again. So it really is the gimmick that sells it, which goes a long way, to be fair. And I think that they incorporate it like really well. I did like having the 3 different movies and stuff like that.
It also it adds a certain impressiveness to the production value, because when you start the movie, especially on YouTube, it just starts. Like there's no sort of title card. It's just like, okay, we're in it. And I was like, what this looks like a homemade
fade in.
home movie.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
happening. But then you're like, oh, they filmed these 3, these, they didn't film full movies, but like the scenes that they're showing us that are from quote unquote other movies. You're like, okay, there was some thought put into this. Someone here really loves movies, and you can see their love for it and their passion for it. And I'm like, yeah, the main story that's playing out is a little silly, but I like the second twist that comes. I like seeing him put on the masks, and I'm bought in. And when she's wheeled out in that weird like Iron Maiden ass dress, I was like,
Yeah.
oh no.
I do thought
Just-
Iron Maiden was just a heavy metal band, dude. Fucking Toby, this guy,
Toby,
Tom
holy
Villard.
shit.
The reveal of Toby is like, this guy is chewing this goddamn scenery up. It is so fucking fun. I love it. Like, it really, like, to me was like, it went from like, I'm kind of having a good time with this movie. It's silly and it's stupid, and they're doing some silly things. I like the gimmicks. I like all that stuff. But when he started going off and like going as big as possible, he fucking rocked my dick off. I loved that. I loved everything he did after he came out. It was
No,
great.
I was like, let me
all
touch
the,
that
like-
prosthetic. That looks so good. I was like, let me touch that thing. It looks real.
The
He
way
was
it
a
makes
little
him
much.
like, his-
speak, though, yeah, the way he talks, it's like he can't speak through
Yes.
the prosthetics.
Yeah.
He's
Like,
kind of, and he's
wow.
also kind of stage
Oh.
acting for a movie, but in the kind of way that I'm like, let's do it.
I kind of feel
Yeah.
like I thought you were talking about his voice when it's like when he's normal, because he's got a weird regular speaking voice, and I wasn't sure if that was an affectation for the role, but I'm guessing not, because I don't think this. I'm not sure that much care was put into that sort of thinking, but
Yeah.
I think that like when he's got the prosthetics on or whatever, it gets really hard to hear when he's got like the hook in
Yeah,
his
the
mouth. That's
lip,
really the
yeah.
thing.
And
that
his
does it.
lips aren't moving, and they just look so
Yeah.
like chunky and weird. The aspect, like once he sort of is unmasked as the killer, the movie takes a bit of a dip for me, because I'd rather him like lurk in the shadows or like keep a mask on. When he's just like talking, so we get so much of him, it's just sort of like not even remotely spooky anymore. and it's not even really like campy in a way that I like necessarily.
Wow,
but
that's surprising.
I really like the rest of the
That
movie
is
though.
surprising.
His I wish he stayed in the shadows a little
If
God, I
Bob
mean, it was
doesn't
kind of
like it,
like
you know
the-
it's really hard for me to overcome. If Bob
Yeah.
can handle the schlock and the goofiness, damn.
I was talking about this
Yeah,
in
the-
regards to oddity recently. It's like the old question in horror movies, like, do you show the monster or is it scarier when you can't see it?
Yeah.
And like it's kept in the shadows. And in oddity, you have that golem from the beginning, just like right there. And it's a
Mhm.
really different take.
Mhm.
And the way that it's kind of handled here is that he is kind of in the shadows until he is in the goddamn spotlight. And
Yeah.
it kind of reminds me of a Scream reveal where it's like, okay, we have a masked ghost face for the whole ghost faces for the whole
Mhm.
movie. And then we finally get the mask off and we get this big dramatic over the top spiel. And I was like, yeah, I mean, this is feeling proto Scream. It's feeling very silly, but in a way that I kind of dig.
Yeah. Well, to kind of go off that comparison, I mean, I think the fun thing about Oddity and the things that work in this film too, it's not a completely like offshoot, but like it's there in your face, but it's teasing something. It's just sitting there. And so you're like, oh, this shit's gonna fuck you up at some point, right? Like, what is it gonna do? But in this, like, I do really like the scene where he's kissing that woman behind the scenes and the skin like starts to peel off, but it's very
Yeah.
dark shot. And then the next scene or one of the next scenes, he's kind of like puppeting her dead body or whatever
Mhm.
behind her. Those are definitely the scenes that worked much better. And then like the prosthetics, I respect like what they were doing, but yeah, to watch this guy Toby just go fucking nuts was not doing it for me. He's too silly. Some of the lines,
Get it wrong, booyah, you die.
it was just too silly, and that was definitely the aspect of the film that I thought like this isn't like what I
Oh,
the
man,
type of
I'm
horror
blown
that I like.
away by this.
Really? From me?
I mean,
or
I
just
get it.
by Bob?
Justin, I expect it from him. Yeah,
For
for you, it's a
real?
little more, expected. But like, I expected more people to be down with this. Like, he's going Lillard on
guess.
this shit. Pre Lillard.
I'm pro.
Is my
I'm
audio okay?
pro.
Not enough drool for my liking.
Yeah, but
I
he's
like
not
when
the
he's
quality of
puppeteering.
Lillard.
The girl that's
No.
like, I gotta
don't
go
know.
earn my A or whatever, like the girl that he ends up with, like, you know, that kisses him and her face.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when he's doing like puppeting her and he's like, it's me, the class tramp, and like everyone's like, oh, Sarah, or whatever her name is. They're like,
Just
"You're
walk
so
off.
sweet."
I love that shit. And
I liked
genuinely,
it,
like,
yeah.
if there's anything in this movie that I found like creepy, like it's not a scary movie, but I feel that way about most things, like most horror movies that I watch. I'm not that like I've seen a lot, you know, but
I'm not a
so
coward.
I wasn't expecting to be
That's
scared.
what
and
Randy's saying.
It's not a big thing. I'm not a little.
I'm not a baby.
I'm a big
but
boy, okay.
like with the puppeteering, the way that she like
Mom
acted
says
that,
so.
it was so. The way that she performed that action, it was very like an animatronic or something. I thought it like actually was kind of creepy in like in a uncanny valley sort of way, even though it was also simultaneously very fucking silly.
Well, when you let yourself
I don't
believe
know.
that that's a corpse, it is creepy when it's like that he's like, you know, puppeteering her corpse. Like, that's disgusting to
Mhm.
think about and like really gross and creepy. And at the same time, it's funny. So I don't know, like the juxtaposition works for me and it lands for me.
Yeah. Also, too,
Man.
that shock scene where he's hooking the guy up and he's just moving all the cables. I was thinking about Bob, like, because they're all just sound cables.
Yeah. I don't know what this guy's doing, but I don't think it's gonna work, man.
Uh-oh, did we
Uh,
lose Randy?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
No, I'm. It's choppy, so I'm trying to shut off my.
oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Oh, it's clean for me. I
Too
think.
hot for TV, says
Whoa.
Randeezy. You don't get to see him anymore.
No.
Speaking of
sorry.
that, the movies within the movies, the second one opens up the Amazing Electrified Man in a substation. There's like I think
Yeah.
2 substation shots, and I was like, hey, that's
Hey, yeah.
I'm the Amazing Electrified
get it.
Man. I get it. I know what that is.
This is for me.
Bob was like the Leo
Oh,
DiCaprio meme. It's
yeah.
like, oh, pointing it.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Electricity, right?
Point at screen. I like the movies in a movie in this too. Like
Me too.
I don't know. There's something about all that, and like this movie came out like 2 years before Matinee, and they did the same kind of thing with Mant. But I think this did it better. Like I like all of these little vignettes of movies that don't exist. They were like Justin you couldn't tell. I wouldn't have been able to tell if I didn't already know that, like, oh, they're doing the Tingler bit. Oh, they're doing the haunted House on Haunted Hill skeleton on a wire bit, but with a mosquito. Like, I already knew about those things a little bit when I watched this the first time. So I was like, I kind of knew what they were going for and that it was just off center from reality, but it feels real enough. And also it's like heightened enough to where I kind of want to watch these movies. I want to see this like movie about
Yeah.
a fucking prison, an inmate trying to get electrocuted in the electric chair and then becoming like the Shocker, but
It is
in the
Shocker,
50s.
yeah.
I want to.
Yeah.
It
yeah.
is Shocker, but in the 50s. I want that, more of that.
I like
Yeah.
the
I
giant
wanna see this
mosquito.
mosquito movie.
I liked it
I like
landing
the
on the
mosquito.
truck and puncturing the dude in the head and sucking his
Sucking
blood.
his
That was
brain.
cool. Yeah.
That was rad. Yeah.
Fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the
those
giant
things
mosquito
really-
they
really
have
worked.
in the theater looks super fucking cool. And when they start the movie, the kids run out. One of them's like a giant like can of bug spray, and the other one's a fly swatter, and people are like going ape shit.
Which
looks
actually
like
was in The
so much fun.
Simpsons recently that we covered.
Really?
We were saying
Yeah,
like, oh,
crazy
Willie's a can of bug spray when
Oh,
Dressed
the,
as a
yeah.
can of bug
Yeah.
spray.
Yeah.
maybe that's
Plugging
a popcorn
Patreon
reference.
again. Just get in there. You got to do it. You got to do it.
Ah, man.
But yeah,
I don't know, like-
so I like those aspects of it. Yeah, the pieces, this is one of those things where like the pieces, I don't know. I was about to say the pieces are better than the whole, but I mean, the music always is not good. So just like no matter what song comes on, it's really cheesy, it's really chintzy. And I guess that's the thing for a movie that made 3 different movies to put in their movie and they're referencing all of these things. There's still a lot that feels really chintzy about it. Like I was saying, it's not able to overcome that B movie like feeling. I don't know.
But
I mean, I think it
also, like,
knows what it
arguably
is.
fits for the topic.
Yeah.
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 I
I
don't
don't
know.
think it's trying to
I
be
would say that,
anything
like,
other than that.
The reggae aside, I think that the soundtrack is pretty terrible. Like the reggae has some charm because it's just such a weird, audacious moment, like happenstance that they would even this would be the band that they have, all that shit. But like the OST is like it should be a little bit better than the movies that they're parodying and homaging. Like it should be a little bit more than the Casio, I think. And they don't quite get there, but I don't know. That's what that I agree with that bit of criticism. That kind of took me out of it. I thought it was like a little bit of a slow build up. Like it was so tropey right at the beginning, like you said, Caitlin. Like that it could have lost me pretty early. And I was like, if Dee Wallace is the thing you're hanging your whole movie on, and she's clearly like mostly written out in the first 15 minutes of the movie, that's not good. But fortunately, they just came in swinging right after that. As soon as they get to the theater, man. I'm just
And then she
in on
comes
this
back
movie. I
like
really love
cast
it.
in the full body cast, like with the gun pointed out.
Yeah. Yeah. But she can't pull
It's
the
so
trigger for
funny.
some reason. I don't know.
It's so funny. Well, and there's this like pseudo supernatural moment where I don't know if it was a dream or what, but she approaches the theater and the letters from the marquee are like falling
Yeah,
off
what
and
the
like
fuck was that?
almost hitting her, and then it like says I already forget lanyards
Possessor.
like possessor, and I
It
was
fades
like,
in.
okay.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
a good
weird.
call. Yeah, I guess that is a good call because at first that makes you think like the film is haunted or it's possessing this theater and stuff like that, and maybe so the and then they drop things like that where it's fading in, but it's not a dream because it plays out like a regular scene. So yeah, it really does kind of pull the rug on that. And nope, it's a real person and he's mimicking it and stuff. But yeah.
I think I was
It's so
like, man, this is weird, but then I was kind of charmed by it, and
Yeah.
I will say though, when it comes
don't know,
to
like-
audio,
Oh.
sorry, go ahead, Randy.
Randy.
Must be really far behind.
I spoke like several seconds ago, so
Oh.
I'm going to
Go.
use this moment to log out and come
no.
back in.
Okay.
Well, as far as the sound goes, like the reggae stuff was like silly and misplaced, but I will say we got a Let's All Go to the Lobby, and that, I don't know, just like hit me just so right. And I was just like, oh, it feels so good to hear this. And getting things like when he's going down the mosquito line or whatever, and it's like you get like the Tarzan scream. I was like, okay, well, we got some stupid ass reggae in here for the montage, but we have some really good beats here in terms of like silly movie stuff.
Dude,
Also, it's oh, go ahead.
sorry.
I'm gonna let
I
Randy
am
go.
back. Thank you. I was gonna say like the whole thing with Toby is that he's kind of doing if Jim Carrey played Jason or Freddy Krueger, like he's kind of doing one-liners and like whatever, but like also flying off the handle like on a big way. And I kind of love that. I don't know, it's kind of a unique way of handling it. Sorry, but I interrupted you, Justin, so go on.
Well, I mean, a lot of it too is just the whole film nerdness of it all is, I mean, just the person here probably worked in a movie theater. The girl going up to the concessions and being like, I'm gonna get popcorn, but not the butter, but give me the Diet Coke and then give me like the candy, and it all balances out. Dude, that shit happens every fucking day at
Yeah,
that
half Coke, half
that
Diet Coke.
conversation happens every day in a movie theater.
Oh yeah. One dude asked me to make sure his popcorn was floating in butter.
Jesus
We have the little like
Christ.
self butter
Nasty.
administration stands where you just pour it on yourself.
People just go buck wild. Just-
Let's have a big
people would
butter
drink
People
it.
like me, bro. Just out there like, let's go.
No shame, Bob. Come on.
I'm sorry, I'm the problem.
Did you guys like me recognize the student that was working at the concession stand? Kelly Jo Minter is her. That's her actress's name. Cheryl was her name in the movie.
No.
She's in actually like a number of things. I was like, I recognized her first from People Under the Stairs. She's Fool's sister in People Under the Stairs. She's in The Lost Boys as Maria, but I don't really remember that specific character very
Is she
well.
the one who kicks out that big? She punches the dude in the
punches
face.
him in the
Yeah.
face,
Lost Boys. When you said Lost Boys, yeah.
Yeah, and she's also in Dream Child, Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Child. So
Damn.
like she's
So
all over
She's
the
just
place.
like dancing
I
in
know.
Lost Boys or something.
I don't remember her very well
I
in
don't
Lost Boys, but I
remember.
definitely remember her as Fool's like tarot reading sister.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Cool.
So I don't know. I was just kind of
Nice trivia,
kind of a
Randy.
character actor pull.
Whoa.
Thanks. You know.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I like that there was sort of a Phantom of the Opera type vibe happening here with the slasher too, where like his layers in the basement of the theater and his face is deformed, and I like that aspect of it. I wish he, like I said, he just stayed in the shadows and they would have played it a little more straight. Also like the mask technology that he somehow invents kind of jumps the shark a little bit for me too. Like
Also makes him the same exact height as that.
Right, yeah, and like he can change his voice well enough, I guess, to fool people. And
Also, too, he can make these masks and look like a normal person. He's still super pissed off about like being burnt.
Well,
it's
just
like,
get
yeah,
over
yeah.
it, man.
I mean, suck it.
Well,
in.
I
But
think
I
Wear
mean,
your
he
mask.
looks like
his
a
whole
normal
mask
person.
melts onto their face. So I
Yeah.
guess he's got problems beyond that. But yeah, like he turns into like he's like, I perfected the quick change or whatever. And I was like, okay, at least they wrote in a line that explained how he can like go into the shadows 1 second, come out in a different face or whatever. They did that kind of. Doesn't really make sense, but I don't know, like the sensicalness of or whatever at that point is long gone. Like I find it so fucking like charming that the 3 movies and like the gimmicks that are involved with them and all that stuff, there's so much care put into making those like completely consistent with themselves the whole movie, to the point where like the way the killer is taken out is by 2 of them at once with the mosquito and the electricity. I love how that all plays out or whatever, but it's like everything else is like way more slapdash than that. It's like the only thing they really paid a lot of attention to in terms of like laying down the narrative structure.
Yeah, someone there really cared. And then I don't know if like they're like, ah, fuck it, we gotta get this done or what, but it kind
I've
of
got
like
trivia that sort of ties directly into what you guys are describing here, the sort of like dichotomy of the movie here. So Bob Clark was originally approached to direct this, and he didn't want to do another horror movie. So he passed on it, and he ended up just being a producer. And apparently, he did shoot some second unit on this. But he recommended his buddy, collaborator, Alan Ormsby. He worked with him on Death Dream to direct it, and he began making the movie, but he was replaced by Mark Harrier just a couple weeks into shooting because he was apparently too detail oriented. And they also replaced the lead Amy O'Neill with Jill Schoelen at this time too. But he still gets credited. Ormsby still gets credited as having directed the movies within the movie, and then everything else is sort of credited to Harrier. So like I think that hyper attention to detail was sort of like Ormsby's brainchild, and then the rest of it, the slapdashy kind of stuff, was the other dude. So it is just like two different directors working on this here, which I think
too bad.
you can tell. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously you can. That is really too bad. And what shocked me is that this is the replacement lead in this movie.
Yeah. Was the other girl too detail oriented, perhaps?
Yeah.
I had to
I guess so.
get rid of her too.
I
was impressed at the volume of her bangs as a bang haver myself. I was like, damn, those things are cemented in. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, they were. It was like she's like cartoon character hair.
Yeah, she got helmet bangs. Yeah,
yeah, crazy. But I don't know, like that makes sense. I really wish it was all that detail oriented or whatever. Like so much of what happens, I really enjoy for its slapdashness. But I'm very curious now to know what this movie could have been if they paid that much attention to some of the actual goings on in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what's because we say, oh, like there's much better films that I think this probably influenced, and I think you can see the structure of a better, more influential movie there, and it really is the kind of schlocky silly, and not the schlockiness, just the silliness, or just kind of those, I don't know, filler things that just make this movie feel a lot cheaper. And so it is difficult because at times you're like, oh yeah, this is a better movie. Oh wait, no, it's really not. And so yeah, you really like sway back and forth. And I think that just cements my feeling of like this could have been a much better movie, but ultimately it's still kind of not.
Well, I kind of like the schlock. Like I made no secret that I like some of the silliness. Like I especially like the silly performances or whatever, and things like that. But like at least from the villain, like I think a scene chewing, ridiculous big villain. I'm happy with that. I was never going to be that scared of him. Unlikely I was ever going to be that scared of him in the
You're
first
a real
place.
man.
So
Randy.
give me some shit to
boy.
like enjoy, and that's what he I think did. Like I just loved the cadence of this character. The other characters though, like Maggie and like things like you mentioned, Caitlin, the marquee coming off, and like just very like some of that shit just really felt like very like by numbers and not in an homage way. You know what I mean? Like the dream sequence or whatever. All these little things, and then just sort of like killing time with this character of who was it, Mark, the boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
God, that guy like could have used a rewrite.
Mark is horny. Do you get it?
Yeah,
Mark's horny and also unlucky. That's it.
Dude, the expression on your face. All right, man.
Man, I just rewatched Serial Mom, and there's a character in there whose whole characterization is that he's just horny, and it's the same thing with Mark. But with Mark, we got the Tarzan scream, and I'll go to bat for Mark for that.
Yeah, Mark had some moments when he's like getting shat on. He's tolerable. So they did a lot of that, and I think it made up for some of it.
They
But
treat him like shit. That's what I
Think
like.
it's
it.
Beatles when I like.
He brings a romantic rival to his girlfriend's, maybe girlfriend, whatever's thing, and then he gets up to go talk to her, and this fucking like beefsteak sits down. Yeah, comes down and sits down. Like I don't know, like part of me really likes that, but it also is just like it kind of drags on a remarkably short runtime, which is impressive.
Joy is just down. She's like, fuck, whatever dude sits in this chair is
Right.
cool with me, man. Whatever.
She's like, I know my worth. Whoever likes me the most gets to have me.
Damn.
Yeah, that is
Ridiculous
kind of
shit.
an odd little plot to
Shit,
follow. Yeah.
asshole. Like that
Damn.
fucking that line read where it's just like this guy stands up and it's like a sea bass moment from Dumb and Dumber where he's just like, "Oh, you're like a foot
A
taller than
head
me."
taller, yeah.
Yeah.
But it is
I
kind of
don't
nice because
know.
you're like, yeah, Mark kind of sucks. So maybe we'll
Yeah,
see
I'm
Yeah.
like
Godspeed.
conflicted about it, obviously. Like a part of me is like, that's so stupid and so tropey, but also it makes Mark tolerable when he's on screen. So I kind of like it. I don't know. I think I just have
Fuck
a real
Mark.
soft spot towards this movie in general, is what I'm discovering.
I think so.
Yeah. Cool. Do you guys have any other major points you want to touch on before we rate this bad boy? No.
Nah.
All right. Let's do it.
Okay.
Cool.
Let's do it.
Out of
I
5.
agree.
up a can of whiff-ass.
Caitlin,
Okay.
why don't you kick us off? Out of 5, how do you feel?
I feel like I'm very charmed by this movie, and if I'm giving it a realistic rating, it's probably a 2.75 for me, where it's like this is a Joe Bob watch where I'm like having a good time with people watching it, really charmed by the fact that it can feel so disjointed, but also it's like in my notes, I'm like, it's postmodern, it's so smart, and then I'm also like, it's stupid. So like when I can have all those things be true at the same time, I find that, I don't know, really unique and really charming. And I do love movies and I love horror movies and I love cinema and going to the movies. And this kind of brought back some of those feelings. So because I'm personally charmed by it, but it is maybe not the best movie that I'll go back and rewatch many times over, I'll say 2.75.
2 3/4 from Caitlin. Randeezy, how do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret that I'm like, I just have a soft spot for this movie, but I don't think it's completely undeserved by any means. Like, I think that it's definitely deserves some criticism, and I think that on a completely objective scale, like Caitlin said, it would have a much lower score than what I'm going to give it, because I'm voting with heart a little bit here, admittedly. So like, I was surprised by this movie positively overall. Um, Aside from some things like the score being a little lackluster and some like scenes feeling like inconsistently, like bizarrely like not thought out versus other scenes that are like deeply thought out. We discovered the secret behind that, but even still, it makes for a weird viewing experience, very stilted feeling. But like that big performance from a big scene chewing villain,
A big boy.
a big boy, and like, I don't know, like just so much of this hit me just so right, and like I needed to watch it a second time to confirm that that's how I really felt about it. And like that's what this viewing did for me. I was like, okay, was I just like surprised and got like my jollies that way, or was it actually like something to it? And I think there was something to it. Some of the shit, like the puppeteering of the person, is actually pretty fucking effective stuff. Some of the like the mosquito sucking a guy's head out or whatever, like all that shit, like the effects and stuff are largely good, except for the electrical effects. Those are terrible. I'm not a big fan of the blue glowy electrical shit. It's very like, late 80s shit. But yeah, I don't know. Overall, I just really enjoy myself watching this movie, and so I'm gonna vote based on that. I'm gonna give it a 4. I like this movie a lot. It's something I will watch again. Probably not every year, but I'll probably watch it every few years and enjoy it. And I think it is a proto meta slasher sort of thing. Like this kind of, in some ways, I feel like led to Scream, or this sort of thinking led to Scream, but it's not as critical or thought provoking as Scream. It's a lot more just homage-y, the same way that Matinee was a few years later, even though that had a little more thinking to it as well, because it was dealing with more production level stuff, and like the William Castle of it all more directly. So I don't know.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah, and like Ed Wood, even like, so like all these, like, this is like the first movie I know of that was like really paying tribute to movies like the William Castle movies as in homage, like so directly. And I think 90s were the time for that to really kick off, because clearly it did. So.
Cool. 4 flat from Randeezy. Juice, how do you feel?
Yeah, not so hot, but I will say, like, when this movie started and it's that cheesy dream sequence and stuff, and the mom's getting these haunted calls or whatever, and I was just like, oh God, I really don't want to watch this movie. It looks so stupid. It looks so dumb. And even even their meeting and stuff about God, the acting so flat and it just felt so chintzy. But I will say, going into the theater, even though the montage music is pretty terrible, but just them setting shit up and them explaining it and going through it and then having the mosquito and the fog and stuff, it carried me through the first half of the movie. And I was like, this is fun. And then even some of the typical stuff of, going through the theater and stuff, I was like, okay, wow, this is actually quite charming and I like this aspect of it. But then it just it kept going. It couldn't hold that momentum, and then it just became like a typical type of thing and really schlocky and cheesy. And then the last third or whatever, just I was like, okay, come on, all right, we got to wrap this up. So I probably will never watch it again, but if it was on, with the group, I think it could be fun enough to watch. But I mean, it is what it is. I think it's better than most of the things around it that like in its category. Which is why I was saying, if you really like schlocky 80s B movies, then this rises above the rest, but not enough to like break through. Just it's definitely toward the top of the list for me. So ultimately, I think I'll give it a 2.5.
2.5 from your boy Juice.
Bob, 5. What you gonna give the old Peacorn?
I dig this one pretty good here. I think, like I mentioned, the all-night horathon with these like 3 movies that are, William Castle joints complete with gimmicks like the horror movie memorabilia everywhere, the shot clock, the kid says when the clock screams, the movie beams or whatever. Like all this like shit is just like a film fan's like, wet dream. I would love to, throw something like this, attend something like this. They did a Tingler screening at the Overlook 2 years ago, I believe, and they did the whole like chair buzzing
The
gimmick
tingler
thing.
is loose in the theater.
Precisely. So I don't know, all that stuff is just so much fun, and it really like got me so stoked putting this movie on. I was like, fuck yeah. And I dig the reggae. It's like it does not fit the tone of this movie. And I get that. But I think it's just fun. I don't know. I dig it for what it is. I like that this is it's got an element of a slasher, and that's sort of like a Phantom of the Opera kind of vibe too. I like all that stuff. The reveal and like the killer's like over the top shit, it does sort of lose me towards the end of the movie a little bit. I kind of wish he stayed in the shadows, and maybe I would have been more engaged if it had been the dude, the filmmaker, and then like I don't know, we got more of his like reasoning for making the movie, or like more of the culty stuff, because the cult stuff is almost like a footnote here. I kind of wanted like more of it instead of this like random dude that was like a baby and not even really a member of the cult. But all the gimmicks and shit, there's like some pretty fun kills happening here. It's definitely got Scream vibes, like we already mentioned, and I like the meta aspects of it. Also, just like all the behind the scenes shots of these kids working at a movie theater, it's just I love these old like movie houses, and like seeing the projection booth and like behind the concession stand and like behind the screen and like the catwalks and all that shit is just super fun too. Sort of yeah, I dig it. My biggest complaint is the slasher again. The plot of the movie might be like a little bloated. There might be maybe a little too much going on, but overall, I had a really good time with this. So I'm sort of in between Randy and Caitlin and Justin here. I'm gonna do just a 3.5, and that's gonna put our aggregate at a 3.2 for popcorn.
Seems
Great.
reasonable.
I think
There
that's
you
fair.
go.
We did
Maybe
it.
a
We're all
little high.
satisfied. Democracy works. It should have been higher, of course, but
Maybe
It should
maybe a
have been.
0.5 too high, but
Hey, fuck you.
within reason.
Fuck you. Let's jump into our Rotten Tomato segment and see what the critics and users have to say.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Rotten Tomato segment in which I'm going to have these folks guess within the best of their abilities what the aggregate positive score is on RottenTomatoes.com for both critics and users for the film Popcorn 1991.
Don't fluff those
God,
numbers,
there's gotta-
Randy.
What?
Don't fluff the numbers. I know you. I know what you do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm big fluffer.
This got a
you know, from way
99%
back.
from the critics. I don't know. It's crazy.
You know, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you guys it's 100% across the board here. All right, we're gonna start as we always do with the critical score, and we're gonna let our esteemed guest Caitlin take the first bite at the apple here. There are only 21 reviews here, so there's no chance at a certified anything here. But out of those 21 reviews, what percentage would you wager are positive reviews?
It's tough because I'm like, okay, if they're, critical reviews, if they're movie reviewers, then they love movies ostensibly. But are they snooty? Because if they're snooty, then they're not going to like this. So I'm going to go 42.
42. All right. We'll go to Soju now. Soju, what do you think that the are you going to go over, under? What are you thinking?
Yeah, it is tough to gauge. But I don't know. Maybe it'll be slightly more positive. I'm gonna go 55.
Oh, interesting. That's a good one.
55.
All right. Bob, how about
Nice.
you?
I'll take the high road here with a comedy number of 69, please.
69, dudes!
Got
Got to be the
bumps for
first time that's
every
been referred to
number.
as the high
know.
road.
Yeah.
Gotta be. All right, let's do some quick mathing here. I'm on the wrong page here. Okay. Yeah, okay. So our esteemed guest, Caitlin, is gonna take this one away. It is actually a 38%.
Damn!
That's pretty low.
Wow.
Out of the 21 reviews. So congrats to Caitlin on that.
Whoa.
And then
Skeet and yeet.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll
you
All
see.
of it.
you gotta make
All
your
of
own.
it.
man. Oh sheet. 1,000 plus ratings on the poopometer, the popcometer, the popcornometer. Actually, popcornometer actually works for this film, so I'm gonna go with
Yeah.
popcorn meter for this film.
Nice.
There's 1,000 plus ratings on that. All that to say, we're gonna go in reverse order here. Bob, out of those 1,000 plus ratings, what do you think the aggregate positive score is?
I think it'll be higher than the critics because this is kind of a cult classic here. It's got a bit of a cult following. So I'll take I'm gonna get crazy, just insane, and take The Boys. Project 86, please.
There's a lot of boys, Bob. You
shit.
gotta specify.
I
Yeah,
know.
is it
Which
69
boys?
dudes? Is it the boys?
I want 'em all.
I want all them boys. All right. Soju, you coming in the middle here? What are you thinking?
This might be a hot take, but I feel like Bob's number is laughable. So I just think that's way too high. I'm gonna go 60.
60. All right. Caitlin, bring us home here. What are you thinking? We got 60, we got 86. What are you feeling?
I think it's going to be higher than the critics, and I'll take the 69 dudes for this one.
Oh,
Stay away from my
hell
dudes.
69, dudes!
I think that is a very worthy thing for you to do. But however, it's not going to work to your favor.
Oh.
Juice's instincts are right on this one. This is lower at 41%.
Yeah, that's
God
well,
damn.
Still higher than the critics, though. Higher than the
Yeah.
critics.
3
Not that
points
much.
higher.
Not
God.
much. Man, that was
Yeah.
close to my
Yeah.
original guess. Damn, I got it mixed up.
yeah.
I just don't think this movie has the cult reputation enough to really get get more movie dorks in here.
Not everyone
its
gets
praises.
it like we do.
Yeah, I know.
You're
not everyone's
totally
so
right.
smart
I'm
and
always
bright,
saying
you
that
know?
about us. We're so smart.
I just man.
I've seen a lot of movies, and what I've seen in my time is a hell yeah.
Oh
Hey.
my god.
Oh boy. Congrats to
Ew.
Soju on that. We're gonna now read a couple of negative reviews because sometimes they're funny. Here we go. The offbeat angle eventually gives way to standard slasher film tropes. Fortunately, the movies within the movies are imaginatively realized. I mean, I think standard slasher film tropes is what it's going for. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's jump down to another one. There's many to pick from, and I have not pre-screened these. Here we go. The festival structure gives
There's
director Mark
many to
Harrier a
pick
chance to parody the delirious contrivances of 50s black and white horror to some effect, but the mock scenes are never as funny as the real thing. It's so like it seems like the common thread here is everybody loves the films within the
The
film,
short film, yeah.
Mm.
Just
but
that
people have problems with the rest
aspect.
of it.
I also too just the concept is fun, or like to go through with that is fun. So like you gotta respect that kind of craft of it. But again, I think we're respecting one director here. And the problem is there's two directors. So one is a very respectable director and one is a very not respectable director. I think that's the problem with
could
this
see-
film.
I think that's probably true. It may not just to walk a line for me, but yeah, I think that like it probably would have been a better film with one director and a funnier schlock film with the other direction. And I kind of want both movies. I want to go into the fucking multiverse and see both versions of this movie.
That's how you spend your
yeah.
multiverse powers.
That's my two of my genie wishes. I want to watch this version.
I'm gonna
Now I
spend
wanna watch the
3
other version.
hours watching 2 different versions of
And next, I want a jet ski.
and the one where Bob bought jet skis instead of blue. Dude, at this point, he's got a fleet. He's got.
Oh my god!
We already
This man,
determined he
he's
could have
got-
bought a houseboat. So I mean,
He's got
at this point, I
Waterworld-style
don't know
biker
where we're
thing.
at.
On the water.
2.5 years ago, it was houseboat. So
Yeah,
God knows
now I got
where we're at.
a
Mansion.
truck and I got a trailer that can haul 4 fucking jet skis on it.
Yeah.
All straight chilling.
1
jet
year
skis.
was jet ski worthy, so it's been like 6 years, 5 years. So
I can just imagine Bob on a yacht and the yacht's name is like Lady Blu-ray or something.
Sweet
Blue
Lady
velvet.
Blue,
No E.
Mm.
Arrow Video right on the side.
Hey.
blue gold.
Wild blue yonder. Anyway, that's it for Rotten Tomatoes. Bob, how's that trivia sounding to you?
I got just a couple more points we can hit real quick. Let's do
Let's
it.
do it.
It's totally time for trivia.
All right, so like we mentioned already, these movies within the movie are all homages to William Castle joints. So the mosquito gimmick is an homage to Emergo, which is from House on Haunted Hill, where they took a large skeleton and they sort of flew it across the audience in the movie theater. The seat shock gimmick is an homage to the Tingler, in which they shocked people's asses in their
Whoa.
seats. And this one I've not
My
seen.
ass is shocked.
Oh God.
Do it again.
Could you imagine like having no idea that was gonna happen and your ass getting shocked? Like,
Oh, I can
People-
imagine, Bob.
I imagine every night
Oh,
with a glass of
I'm
cognac.
I'm imagining it right now.
God damn, dude. You
Are you waiting to receive my limp penis?
there's some tension on this show. The
It's 'cause Caitlin's
Odorama.
on. That's the problem. I didn't know. I wasn't prepared.
I don't want to know what preparation you would have to take. This is a family show, damn it.
It is not.
No, it is.
Decidedly, if any children are listening, go to bed. Stop.
No
Listen
matter
to your
what time
Uncle
you're listening.
Soju.
Oh God.
You gotta shock him in the ass, says Uncle Soju.
If you want to have them sweet stains, sweet
Ooh.
sticky stains,
Oh, God.
your old Uncle Soju,
Jesus.
keep listening.
Jesus. Oh God.
Oh. The Odorama gimmick was an homage to Smell-O-Vision, which is from a movie called The Scent of Mystery. I've never heard of that one before. That was kind of a curveball there. I love it in the movie though.
See a movie like that.
They
I
have
actually
this-
that would be my least favorite one too. I don't want to sit in
Smelling-
a dank
Yeah.
ass movie theater that smells like buttholes. or something
They've got
like.
very asshole centered tonight.
every
Consider my
night.
laugh
Every
right
night.
That's what a boy likes.
Yeah, you gotta shock them. They have the scent of a dead dog in the movie. Like, yeah, I would
That's fucked
not
up.
want to
Yeah.
smell
Yeah,
that.
that's too much. But like,
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
that they're
I
like
think a
dead
little bit of
dog,
s-
dead dog. And they like just pump it through.
I mean,
Dump it
one's
in.
dead body. I mean, dead dog, but also one just, or maybe I guess
body odor.
body
no, not
odor, but
BO.
yeah, of a
Yeah.
dead body, right? Yeah. It's like, why
Yeah.
would you want to sit through that? Shot me in
think
the
that-
ass, yeah. But-
But I don't want to smell your dead body.
Mm.
Shock me.
Slap
The,
you
uh,
in the ass.
The last bit I have here, the character of Lanyard Gates was very loosely inspired by eccentric Brazilian filmmaker Jose Mojica Marin, who's known for creating and playing the character of Coffin Joe.
Yeah.
That's a great name.
Yeah. it
Coffin
is.
Joe.
Coffin Joe. Check him out. And that is all the trivia I have. Let's go ahead and talk Cooter of the Week.
Straight chillin'. Cooter of the week.
Juice, what is a cooter and why do we hunt them?
Oh, Bob, we are the best cooter hunters around, and cooter's a character type. Just to clarify real quick, so we don't go to prison.
You kids
Uh,
still listening?
Straight chilling exclusive, of course. I'm a little hungover, so I think Caitlin's gonna go through the 5 points of cooter.
Nobody gives a fuck.
The 5 points of cooterdom are sexual deviance, overall patheticness, overall look and attire, smug arrogance, and manipulation.
Whoa.
And we want the cooter with the most points, but we need 3.
Well, we
at
need
least
at
three.
least 3. Very good.
That's right. We have
Nice.
standards. Here. They're very, very,
Very
fucking low.
loose.
If you hit 2, you're not good enough. So yeah, I think we got a couple maybe cooters in this film. Who do we want to start with? Any takers? We want to start with old Tobes.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Toby. Yeah.
Looking at tired them lips.
Dude, they are not moving.
I like Toby when he's like half
God.
face on. Like that's ideal.
When it's like
Toby.
the ears hanging off a
The
little
ears
bit.
hanging
yeah.
off. He looks like a character from Brazil. It's great.
Yes.
From Brazil, the country, of course.
Yeah.
A character.
Brazil, the country,
character.
yeah, he looks Brazilian, as they all have ears flapping.
He's rocking a Brazilian, is what you're saying.
Clearly, what I meant. Yes.
Yeah.
Sexual
Manipulation.
deviancy. Oh, yeah, manipulation.
Manipulation.
I would say
For
not
sure.
the sexual deviancy because he has the chance to sleep with the blonde woman who's like very into him or whatever, but he instead throws an incel tirade in the back afterwards. And he's like, "No, I've got things going on." He's just like,
I was just thinking about the melty,
tantrum.
the melty face make out with that one chick, but I
Mm.
guess she's more the
True.
sexual deviant.
But he's playing
Dude,
the
yeah.
role.
She was ready to fuck that teacher. Like,
She was.
Very ready.
I have a down.
daddy kink.
She needs an A,
Yes, we
Bob. I
do.
mean, how else is she gonna get it?
what do you think? She's gonna learn something?
What is she
No.
gonna?
For someone
She's
who
not gonna work
needs
for
the needs the help, she committed to this theater thing. Like she's in the uniform and everything.
I know.
But maybe
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
part of
That's
it.
true.
It's got to be good for at least
That's
to be.
that's
It
part of the
is.
daddy kink. Yeah.
It is. For sure.
So manipulation, smug arrogance for sure, because he
Oh,
thinks
yeah.
he's
Yeah.
smarter than everybody.
Oh yeah.
Pathetic.
And
Looking
the,
at
Pathetic,
tire.
yes, because
and
Pathetic.
he's putting
pathetic.
the entire like he's not blaming the cult leader who tried to murder his family in front of him as a child and convinced his mother to watch this with him.
Yeah.
He's blaming the child who barely escaped with her life from
Yeah.
that situation.
Makes sense.
So makes
Yeah.
perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems it's just so contrived, but like to me that's so in keeping with the kind of movie that they're homaging that I'm just like down for
Mm.
it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So he's got what, 4?
It's got
Maybe
enough, yeah,
all 5?
4,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe 5.
Yeah.
What about
anybody
that
else?
boyfriend? Has he got
Mark.
anything?
Mark's got sexual deviance.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like,
Yeah.
He like rushes her at campus and he's like, I'm so horny. And she's like,
Yeah.
take it easy.
stop what you're doing. She is so like laughs it off, but I'm like, this man is like unwell at this moment. He was like, come on, man.
Go
I guess-
home, Mark.
Yeah.
Go
and he's like
home.
starts like
Take a
negging her,
cold
like,
shower.
I guess I'd like, why don't you want to be with me or whatever? Like all this sort of like weird fucking
Babe.
shit.
She's like,
Hey.
A, I'm going to class. B, my mom's home. C, you're like way too
Yeah.
horny to be in public right now.
He should have prepared in that ride juice, but he
You
didn't.
should have
You
prepared.
need to be strapped
just-
down to a chair somewhere, my guy.
God damn.
Oh,
What
man.
else? Pathetic. He gets
Yeah.
he
He
gets
gets his
made
shit
a
rocked.
made a fool and gets knocked the fuck out.
His pants rip and everybody laughs at him because he thinks he can outrun a Doberman or something. Like it's fucking stupid.
So patheticness,
stupid man.
sexual deviance, smug arrogance.
Yeah, I think so. He's pretty smug.
Yeah. He's
So
pretty
he
cootery.
hits. He's got those cooter. But outside of just the main villain role, he's got some of those cooter
Mhm.
vibes.
Mhm.
Got
Mhm.
low tier villain syndrome for
yeah.
a while, even though he turns out to be a hero, which is just a weird turn. The only way that works is because they shit on him so much in the interim.
I like it when they shit on him.
It's my
I
favorite
love
part.
it when they shit on him.
What?
Oh man.
Cool. So he definitely has enough, but I don't think he's gonna beat Toby. Anybody else?
Mm,
I mean, boyfriend's rival, maybe, but I don't think there's enough of
That
him.
guy was just cool, man.
That guy is just a slab.
That guy fucks.
He does not even make eye contact with him for the longest time.
He
He doesn't make eye
prepared.
contact with the girl. He just puts his arm around her.
Yeah,
He's
just-
like-
It works, I guess. He's like, all right, whatever.
he picked the right woman to do that to. 'cause
That's how
she was
Tony and
down
I
for it
met.
somehow.
He just appeared and I was down.
God damn. All right, Tony. Very
He
bold.
just
How many times has
appeared.
Tony been to prison now?
It'll work
Um,
eventually. You just keep
Yeah.
doing it.
The
So,
odds, yeah.
Well, I was thinking, is that woman actually sleeping with the teacher? Because then we could possibly give it to the teacher. It's sexual deviance, but I don't remember how much.
Yeah, it seems like they are.
There seems to be an
Yeah.
existing sexual relationship there when she approaches
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
But that's like the only thing about him that isn't just like, I'm your professor.
Standard, yeah.
Like,
He had like a dumb turtleneck on, I'm pretty sure.
You
Look
dumb
What
at
an
him.
Oh,
idiot.
Throw him away. Throw
What
him
a
in the.
stupid
He's
look.
the cooter.
Forget cooter prison. Kill this man. Turtleneck.
Executed summarily. Goodbye.
Yes. No trial for this man. Habeas corpus is suspended for turtleneck wearing.
Pathetic for
Hey,
sure.
on record, I like a turtleneck. His was just stupid.
I'm not a big
Oh,
turtleneck guy.
stupid turtleneck. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
need to
yeah.
specify.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
too
Layer
much.
with
I
the
don't know.
scarf. Okay, if you're gonna cover the neck, give a layered look.
You got to get you a good ascot.
You're always saying that.
That's like
That's
it's
his
my
Ascot
old-fashioned
Randy.
move.
alive.
Yeah,
He's a bit of an ascot nut.
I'm a bit of an ascot nut.
I wish for like a year that needs to be Randy's thing. Ascot.
Just-
If I just wear a new ascot
Yeah,
every episode.
yeah,
if people
that'd be
send them to
great.
me, I will wear them on the behind the scenes. You
There you
send
go.
me ascots, I will.
Don't
But
tempt me
also
with a
in
bit.
life too.
And what? What'd you say?
In
In
life.
life.
I said
Oh,
also
yeah,
in
of
life
course.
too.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear it on my DMV photo. What are you talking about?
I hope so.
I genuinely have a scarf on in my DMV photo, and I was like, why did they let me do this?
Yeah, they make people take their glasses off. and
I'm like,
shit
this is for sure not allowed. What the fuck happened?
The found footage festival guys do this thing where they every time they do like a weird face, but the only way they get through with it, they detail how to do it, and you have to kind of walk in wearing the weird face already, just kind of be like this the whole time. Trying to do a weird face. Oh yeah, I'm ready for the
Oh,
photo.
that's
Like-
fucking
like,
great.
that's fucking
dude.
amazing commitment, and God help you if you get pulled over for anything.
You just gotta make the face again.
Yeah.
The answer. Was there a problem, officer?
God damn.
Well, I think we got 3 really. Let's take them
I
all.
think we're happy
Just
with this.
take 'em
All.
all.
Yeah.
We got them all.
Yeah.
Cool. Good job. Proud of us. We really did it. What are we doing?
Thank you.
I don't know.
Let's talk. Let's talk
think
about
it's-
what we've been watching. Let's do it.
Hey gang, what you been watching?
500 of
What
these
are we
fucking
doing
things.
I know.
with our lives?
I don't know what
Bob
we
had a
do.
little existential crisis there. Whoa, what are we doing?
Bob, you
Fuck.
know what? I write out the intro to plug it up every episode because if I don't have it written down, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about either.
You know, we're just here existing.
We're just
We're
like
just normal men.
air conditioners conditioning the air.
I'm sorry, what? Did you just have an edible? What's happening?
The fuck are you talking about, dude?
Fuck is
That's
happening?
little Frank Reynolds in my mind when he's the art collector.
Okay, all right.
Bullshit. Derivative.
Caitlin, what have you been watching?
I was so excited for this segment because we have been binging a show called Delicious in Dungeon. Have any of you seen this?
What?
No, but it sounds awesome.
So I've
know.
never been an anime person. Like I just haven't found any animes that I've gotten into. But there's this really cute one on Netflix called Delicious in Dungeon, and it's like D&D meets Great British Baking Show meets Pokemon, and it's so cute and I love it. And I think the first season's like 24-ish episodes, and we're about 20 in, so we're coming in at the end of the season, but it is very sweet and I love it. It's just like, you know, little party that's in a dungeon, D&D style, and they're battling monsters, and then they eat them and cook them, and they have these little recipes, and it's adorable.
They
Alright.
eat the
Sounds fun.
losers or the winners?
They eat the monsters that they conquer, like little mushroom guys. It's very sweet.
Wow,
Very
that
sweet.
sounds.
That sounds
It's so
It
cute.
sounds very murderous. I don't know how to tell you.
It's cute and creepy. It's like everything. If you're a fan of the show, I feel like you'd like this.
All right, all right.
Nice.
That, and then for Plug It Up, I recently rewatched Serial Mom, which it had been a while, but Kathleen Turner God, she's so good. Anything John
Right.
Waters is a hit for me. And then rewatched The Devil's Bath for another Plug It Up episode. So just some rewatches,
Nice.
and then a lot of Delicious in Dungeon.
Hell yeah. Sounds fun. Ray and Deezy, what you been watching?
I've got a number of things to get through here. I finally watched the first Omen, and man, I knew that it had like some similarities to Immaculate, but Jesus Christ, it was like, is this the same movie? What happened here?
Pretty much.
It's so similar. It's crazy that they came out concurrently. Like, I don't know, and it just seems impossible. It's like Ants and Bugs Life coming out at the same time, but at least then you look at the trailer for one of them, or you hear about, oh, they're making CG bugs and centered on ants. Okay, we'll do that too. We'll rip that off.
Well, it's
But how
like
do you-
in the
I don't
context
know.
of Roe being overturned, like I understand like there's this conversation around bodily autonomy and like institutions, but they're so similar.
It's shockingly similar. Like the only difference is the motivation for some of the machinations happening in the background that I won't reveal here. So yeah, there's that. The Chris Gethard show had a reunion at the reopening of UCB New York, and they live streamed it for pay, which I paid for, and I was a big TCGS fan back in the day, still am. I won a cruise from Chris Gethard and Vacation Jason, the world's foremost vacation expert. And yeah, I love these guys. It's like a very DIY punk show that like used to come on MNN, Manhattan, what is it, Neighborhood Network, the public access shows, and they just did all kinds of crazy shit. It's very chaotic, and this was exactly the same. It was chaotic as fuck. Some bits really didn't land. Some bits went way too far. It's just fucking crazy. But it was nice to see them back again, even just for the one night. I was really, really happy about that. Kane Pixels came out with a new installment of The Backrooms on YouTube for free, and I would say it's probably one of, if not his best, Backrooms short. It's like 45 minutes. It's one of the better ones I've seen, and God knows there's a ton of pretenders to the throne there. And I heard like a couple years ago that he was supposed to be given a full feature-length film from Blumhouse or somebody, but that hasn't materialized. This felt like it could have been that, just truncated. It has like a really good narrative arc to it or whatever that some of them don't, because it's like they really commit to the found footage part of it. But yeah, I really liked it. It's good stuff. It's called Found Footage number 3. I think it's what it's called. But The Backrooms found footage number 3, Kane Pixels. It's great. It came out like 2 days ago or 3 days ago or something from recording. We decorated Halloween at our house finally, and got Trick or Treat rolling. I really came around to that movie over the years. I've mentioned that last year, but yeah, I think that there was something about like the 2000s-ness of it that really rubbed me wrong at the time. It just felt cringy when I like originally saw it. That has worn down on me and turned into sort of like a nostalgia. So I like it a lot. I was very happy to rewatch it. And then last but not least, germane to the conversation of not Nick Castle, Jesus Christ, William Castle. Watched a William Castle movie that I had seen name dropped called Homicidal, which is his reaction to Psycho, which was in part inspired by some of his films, supposedly. So it's William Castle introducing a movie that is basically Psycho, literally down to like floor plans of a building. Like some of it is very similar, but it is different. And I don't want to say too much, but I think it's worth watching. But I really want to talk about it. It's kind of impossible to talk about without spoiling shit. So I don't want to say too much. People watch this thing. Please watch this thing and talk to me about it. That's my big request. It's interesting, and I enjoyed myself watching it. It's fraught in some ways, culturally speaking. It's got some. I don't know if you're aware of this, but in the 50s there was something called misogyny, and there's some of that going on here.
Heard of it?
Only in the 50s.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we stamped that right out with McCarthyism.
It's gone.
Yeah. So that's it for me. The last entry. I guess Soju? You want to take it?
I haven't watched a lot, but I will say, since it's been commented on a little bit, I did finish The Bear season 3, and I was not that big of a fan of it. I know Randy was kind of defending it when he was talking about covering it. I do think that there was a huge drop off in quality. There are like episodes where they just run this same kind of, I don't know, theme over, like with them talking about the brothers in this season really fucking got on my nerves.
Complaints.
Dude, it just feels like filler. It feels like they couldn't fill out episodes. It blew me away. Like when John Cena just shows up one episode and they just go back and forth. I was like, man, this show feels like it really lost its way, or like it. And sometimes it felt like some of the names maybe got bigger, and there was filming or like scheduling conflicts or something. It felt like we just can't have a guy this day, so let's just do something. I don't know. It just felt like there was a lot of filler this season. So I definitely thought it was the weakest for sure. So yeah, that's it. That's all I've been watching. I definitely was disappointed. There were like a few choice episodes. Definitely the one in the hospital and Tina. Those were like the two kind of like standout ones for sure in my mind. But yeah, I agree with the general consensus, I guess, that like it was much worse for me this season. Yeah. Bob.
I think Tina won an Emmy. I mean, the actress, I blank on her name, but won an Emmy for that episode.
That's cool. Yeah. Bob, what you been watching?
A couple things. We did some sort of spooky stuff. We went down to Orlando this past weekend, specifically for a something corporate reunion concert at the Hard Rock at the Universal City Walk. And it was a really good show. I'm not really a huge fan of their music, Alice's. And these dudes are like in their early 40s, and they played like a 2-hour set and just fucking rocked it. The lead singer, like plays piano, which is a stationary instrument. He had this like upright piano he was playing at, but he was like leading the shit out of that band. He was like all over the stage, like playing with one hand. He like basically never looked at the piano. I don't know. He just knows. He's got that shit memorized, so well he doesn't need to. He was like jumping up on the keys, like slamming his ass on the keys, like just fucking going apeshit.
Really? My attention.
He was shocking himself in the ass juice. Can you imagine?
I can.
Wow.
It was a good show, but also
I'm imagining it right now, Bob.
I really should have prepared myself. I'm out of control. We while we were there, we also went to this this bar called the Red Coconut Club, but they always like revamp it for Halloween, and they call it the Dead Coconut Club. And they had it. It's a 2-story thing, and the bottom half this year they decorated it as this sort of 80s neon vampire kind of club. It's very Lost Boys vibes in there, and it was absolutely fantastic. They killed it with the theme. And then the second story was all like Blumhouse. It was like a Blumhouse takeover thing. So they had I forget the character's name, the Grabber from the Black Phone, like sitting in his chair asleep. They had a Megan doll. They had like a Purge corner. They had a Happy Death Day area with like the big old cake with a knife in it and everything. It was just like really well done. Super cool stuff. They had characters dressed up, walking around, doing all kinds of crazy shit. They had vampires on the bottom floor that were like really like decked out, like wearing crazy huge chains and like giant hats with feathers, and like there's this one shirtless dude that was just like licking it like everybody, and just like it was great.
Licking it. Is that what you-
He was like, flapping his tongue at people. It was great. It was fantastic.
Okay.
Juice, you would have lost.
Yes, I'm familiar with vampires.
Ah, yeah.
Doing that stuff. It was great.
So what crazy stuff was he doing?
This sounds
Orgy.
exceedingly vanilla. I don't know. I'm waiting for
Are you reading your taxes to me right now? Or what?
I was all boned up, but now I'm falling asleep. Jeez.
Get back to the ass stuff. Then Juice, we're back.
This is a shocking and
The shocking of
That's
the
what
ass.
a boy like.
and the keys.
Surprising. But that's pretty much all I've been up to. Watching something corporate and then doing some slightly spooky shit down in Orlando. Yeah. Cool. We did it.
That
We
was
don't
cool,
have-
Bob. That was cool.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you for agreeing with me.
Cool
We
story,
don't-
bro. What do we?
Thanks, man. That was really believable. We don't have any voicemails this week because clearly nobody loves us. And
Clearly.
I think-
we're fine with that. We're okay.
Justin seems to think it's because of
don't care.
cowardice. So I don't know.
Right. We don't care. We're just mentioning it like a lot. We want you to know about it, but
I
we
don't want to
don't
hear
care.
from you guys. I don't
Please.
want to hear from anybody.
Please don't call.
Call me.
I don't
Please
even want you to call. Don't call
don't
me. Please
call.
don't call me.
Don't
It's
call
embarrassing
904.
me when you call me.
904 638 3231. Prompts for next week. You guys got anything?
What are we talking about, Bob?
We're talking about another Patreon pick.
Whoa.
This was chosen by your boy Gabriel. The movie is The Haunted from 1991.
Another
91.
90. Yeah,
And-
damn.
It is another
I-
anyone.
Another crazy thing about this is you have to watch it on YouTube because it
Hey.
doesn't exist
Yeah.
anywhere else.
It's
This was a-
made-for-TV film.
We've
Yeah,
got a
exactly.
theme running for set time.
Mhm.
It is a Halloween movie, so it should get you in the spirit of the holiday. Check
Pumpkins.
out The Haunted 1991 on YouTube exclusively. I don't know if that helps with the prompt at all because I don't think we've seen it. but-
We don't know much about it. so-
What are people's go-to spooky season movies? I feel like Trick or Treat is up there for me. Like
Oh,
what
yeah?
kicks off your
Yeah.
spooky season?
Yeah, that's a good one
Yeah,
to start with.
we're always down for that.
Also,
I
autumn
also
movies
want-
too. I've been jonesing to watch, even though football already started. Remember the Titans,
Dude,
Oh,
I just
Very
watched
scary.
that
that.
movie. Fucking rules.
Very
It
scary.
fucks.
I'll go to
was-
the papers.
I forgot to mention that I just recorded an episode of Let's Get Physical Media with Mikey. It's out now. Check it out everywhere you get your podcast. But yeah, I was just blasting
Your house was
through
still dirty.
Denzel movies, and that was one of them I threw on. I forgot how progressive that movie is. I haven't seen it in years.
The movie's
But
good.
like,
Great
there's some
autumn. Yeah, good.
interesting
autumn
shit.
That
vibes.
really is.
Yeah.
it's a good
Good one.
movie.
It's got fire and rain in it. It can't be all bad.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Yeah. So Halloween watches and autumn watches.
I want to know what movie gimmicks you guys want to experience in real life. So we saw a few movie
Well,
gimmicks.
you
in
We
already
know
this
it.
film.
Justin wants.
That's a gimmick you can get at any downtown bookstore, if you know what I'm saying.
Love to invite you guys to Fallout, the goth club in Richmond, where you
Oh.
can get that experience.
On the way.
Damn.
All
Pleather,
right, God.
pleather is on.
Wait, no pleather. Leather only.
Oh, okay.
We go legit.
God damn.
Pleather's for losers, don't you know that? I thought you were goth and like into vampires.
Yeah.
Did
What
you?
a
Are you
fucking
even a
loser.
vampire,
Got that
Sergio?
s-
God.
Got that stolen goth valor over here. That's where you have safety pins
Damn,
in your ears,
that-
I guess. I don't know. Yeah, but no, really, like if anybody has like a William Castle or like some sort of film gimmick that they've heard of or that they have thought of or dreamed up that they want to run by us, I would love to hear about them because like that's something we didn't get to go to that at the Overlook, the Tingler screening, which was very unfortunate. But I really would love to see some really like gimmicky like in theater experience type shit, and I'm curious
yeah.
what people have thought about this.
Yeah, or if you have experienced anything like that, what was it? Let us know. Call in.
Yeah, that too.
904-638-3231. And yeah, that's going to do it for us this week here at Straight Chilling. Caitlin, thanks again so much for sitting in with us. It's always a pleasure having you.
It was great to
It's
be
plum
here.
awesome.
It is.
Plum awesome.
Plum awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, make sure you check out Plug It Up everywhere you get your podcast. Watch The Haunted over on YouTube. Get ready for next week's show. And until then, you can find us on all the socials everywhere. Just search Straight Chilling Podcast. And everybody, please keep chilling.
The Tingler is loose in the theater.